It's one of the most difficult sporting events in the world, one that pushes athletes to their absolute physical and psychological limits. It's the litmus test of true conditioning. Over the span of 26.2 miles, or just over 42 kilometers, participants test themselves in front of cheering spectators at every turn. We're speaking of the marathon. On August 10th of this year, United States Army Staff Sergeant Leonard Korir competed in the men's marathon event at the Paris Olympics. It's the culmination of years of work, from early runs in his home country of Kenya to last-minute training in the hills of Colorado Springs. But what goes through his mind just before the race begins?
You are nervous, you're seeing your competitors, they're standing next to you. You're saying, this is the guy I need to watch. The good thing is everybody is feeling the same. And then before you know it, you start the race.
And the first mile of the race?
Usually the first mile is a little bit quick because everybody's trying to sprint to the front. So that mile is just to test your body, make sure you to remove those nerves. Just run, you check your body, make sure you're not feeling like some sort of injuries.
And then, closer to the finish line, something happens to every runner.
Around mile 20, 21. That's when you start eating the wall. Just try to be patient, make sure you're getting your fluids. And then by mile 23, that's when your body now start to say, we are almost finishing.
And then, once he hits the 25-mile mark and has one to go,
that's when everybody is trying to give everything. That last mile too is a good mile to catch up with people because some people go crazy earlier on. And then when they reach mile 23, 24, 25, that's when they die. So you start passing them, that's when you feel so good. You say, yes, I knew you were running, you didn't save your energy earlier on. Now I'm catching up with you. So you feel good when you catch somebody who maybe went crazy earlier on.
Though Staff Sergeant Leonard Korir was born in Iten, Kenya, a hub of top long-distance runners, he didn't begin training until he was in high school. He quickly found it thrilling, and only a few years later, received an athletic scholarship to study in the United States. He won many championships, competed in 2 Olympic Games, but some of his proudest accomplishments have taken place while wearing the uniform of the United States Army. In today's episode, our hosts have the honor of sitting down with Leonard to discuss his athletic career, what convinced him to sign up for a life of service, and what junk food he treats himself to after finishing a successful race. I'm Carrie Varro-Heikes, and this is Army Matters.
You ready? Hello, everyone. I'm Lieutenant General Retired Leslie Smith, and today I got my co-host back with me.
I am Dan Daly, Sergeant in the Army, retired, of course, and I'm back from my trip. I'm back.
Yeah, so you got to tell everybody, where did you go?
It was tough. You know, they needed someone out in the frontier.
The frontier?
Literally the frontier.
Yes.
And they called and they said, we have a mission for you.
Should you choose to accept it?
Yeah, kind of like that.
What was that mission?
It was rough. I had to wade waist deep into water and endure treacherous rapids in the most extreme environments of the United States.
Yes.
Out in the frontier of Alaska.
Alaska?
Yeah. And
to do what?
And to catch wild, aggressive fish.
What type of fish?
Salmon.
Salmon.
Yes. This year they were a little more aggravated than you.
They were
usual.
aggravated?
Yes,
They were like
yes,
aggravated?
Yes.
Yes. Why were they so aggravated?
Well, they
Why
were
do you
trying
think?
to they were trying to get to their spawning beds, and I was trying to catch them.
Okay.
So they needed me, so they called me in.
Yeah, they called you in?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, great.
No, honestly, I was salmon fishing in Alaska. That's what I
Okay.
was doing.
Somebody had to do it. Thank you, Dan.
Somebody had to do it.
So, Dan, while you were out there helping us fill our cupboards,
Feed the world. Yes. Yes.
did you get a chance to watch any of the Olympics?
I did for a little bit. I did. We watched it at night when we came back from
When you
fishing.
came back? For how many hours were you out there fishing every day?
12?
Oh, really? That was so
Yeah.
tough.
It is tough.
Fresh air, beautiful sky, and fish jumping everywhere.
You have to fight the rapids, the angry salmon, and the 10,000 other people trying to catch them. That's the tough
That's the
part.
worst part, right?
That's the worst part. Yes.
Exactly.
10,000 other people at the same exact time.
Exactly.
That's right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's all good.
It's all good.
So, which one did you watch?
I watched fencing. I watched some swimming events.
Mm-hmm.
I did get to watch some gymnastic events.
No,
And I think that's about it.
that's about it.
So what'd you get to watch?
I watched basketball. I watched volleyball. I watched some of the ladies' events, but I really like to watch it live. So I would kind of watch it in the morning because I get up early, and then not try to disturb my wife in the evening.
So, last week when I was battling the salmon in Alaska, helping feed the hungry world and do my part for the protein intake of my family and AUSA, you had an opportunity to sit down with our young Olympian, didn't you?
I sat down with Staff Sergeant Leonard Korir, and he competed in this year's men's marathon at the Olympics. And, he's got a great story, and I'm really excited for our listeners to hear it.
Yeah. I'm excited to hear it too.
Yeah.
But I'm jealous though. I mean, I've gotten to talk to these young soldiers many times, and I'm glad you got the opportunity to sit down with them. I'm more glad though or more proud of, I should say, is the fact that they're representing the Army and our nation.
Yes, I
Yeah.
agree. So you want to listen to the interview?
I do.
Okay, let's do it. Hey, Sergeant Korir, welcome to Army Matters. Can we start off by just having you introduce yourself to our listeners?
My name is Staff Sergeant Leonard Korir, stationed here in Fort Carson, Colorado, world-class athlete program, track and field, one of the runners representing the U.S. in the marathon.
Now, when you finish a race, is there some snack or dessert you reward yourself with?
So after the race is when I can eat anything, a lot of calories.
Like what?
Usually I like pizza.
Pizza. Okay.
Pizza is a good one for me.
Yeah.
They don't allow us to eat it, but after the race, I usually want to eat it. Some ice cream after.
Yeah.
That's my favorite.
So what's your favorite ice cream flavor?
Yeah, chocolate.
No, you know
likes-
what? That's mine too. I knew
Yeah,
something I liked about you, Sergeant. So let's talk about you coming from Kenya to New York. In your hometown, there's a sign that says, "Welcome to Iten, home of champions."
Yes.
Explain to us, how did your hometown become known as the top center for marathon runners in the world?
Yeah, so when I was young, I used to see the sign. I used to see runners running, training. I didn't know I was going to be a runner, but I got inspired by top athletes training there, getting a chance to fly, get out of the country, go to different places to represent the country. And I told myself I want to one day to get to fly, maybe USA, to run. So that was something which inspired me. That's why I could be a runner.
Okay. So when did you start running?
I started when I was in high school, and then I went to college. I used to run on my college back in Kenya.
Yeah.
And then after that, I got scholarship to come to the US.
You said in the past that Paul Chagat was one of your inspirations. Can you tell us who that is?
He's from our village. He was a very good cross-country runner. And he won cross country like 5 times. He almost won Olympics. He ran in the Olympics, 10,000 meters. He almost won gold. He got silver. So he inspired me a lot how he was running. Very tall guy. He could run. He was very good in training. And I got inspired by him so much that I wanted to be like him one day.
Have you ever met him?
Yeah, I've seen him. I've shaken his hand. So I met him one day. He presented us some trophies. It was so inspiring to see him.
Now, Sergeant Korir, one of the people who helped Kenya, and specifically Iten, one of the top locations for marathon runners, was Brother O'Connell. Can you tell us who he is?
So he has a very good training camp in St. Patrick's. He has trained a lot of runners, like world record holders, like David Rudisha. In December, athletes go there. He trains you basic stuff about running, how to run relaxed, how to train smart so you don't get injuries. He was one of the coaches who inspired me a lot when I went to his camp for a few months. And I learned a lot from his coaching. He prepares you to be a good athlete. And then after that, you progress slowly.
Okay. Now, after a few years of training in Iten, you received a scholarship to go run at Iona College in the United States. Can you tell us how that happened?
So the coach here in the US came all the way to Kenya to see me run. When we had competition in the colleges in Kenya, I didn't know coaches from America fly all the way to Kenya to recruit. My plan was just to win a race in Kenya. And then after I won, somebody came to me and told me, introduced himself. I'm somebody so-and-so from the US. What do you think about going to America to study and run in races like NCAA? And I was like, is that really? Is it something that can happen? What do I need? Where do I need to sign? Where is the paperwork? And then before I know it, he told me, we want you to join the Iona College in New York and you will run cross country. And then you will be able to develop more as an athlete. And I say yes. Before I know it, I just got the I-20 and I flew to the US. So I was so excited.
So what was the biggest culture shock when you arrived to Iona in the United States? It had to be the weather.
Yeah, the weather. I didn't like the snow, cold. In December, it gets so cold. The thing that encouraged me a lot was teammates we had in Iona. They didn't feel the cold. They used to run in shorts and gloves. And I was like, how is these people not feeling any cold? But it motivated me and they cannot feel the cold. I think I can hang in there if they don't feel it. I think it's something which you get used to as the years goes by.
Okay. So you joined the Army in 2015.
Yes.
So why did you decide to do that?
After coming here and getting a scholarship to run for Iona for almost 4 years, I said, I still have a lot of running in me. What should I do after college? I told myself, you know what? There is an opportunity to join the United States Army, and they have a world-class athlete program in Fort Carson. This was a good opportunity for me to give back to the country and also continue running.
Okay, let's back up a little bit. Let's talk about your sister. You have one sister that's an Army nurse.
Yes.
Okay, so who joined first?
I joined first. She was a runner too. She got scholarship to come and run in one of the colleges.
Where did she run?
She used to run to cross country and track.
So she decided to join the Army because of you?
When I joined the Army, I told her, I think you would like it. She said, yes, good. And she joined too, but she joined the reserves.
Great. Let's talk about your basic training time and then advanced individual training. When did you go through advanced individual training?
Yeah, so right after basic training.
How were you treated since you're such a great athlete? I mean, did people look at you different, or did you help other people learn how to run better, or what?
One thing I did in basic training was just try to blend in with the group.
Yeah.
But when we were in PT, I made sure that I was running my 2 miles so quick. Smoked everybody.
You smoked everybody?
Yeah,
What was your
yeah.
fastest 2-mile time in basic training?
I remember I ran like 9 minutes for the 2 mile, and people were like, wow, who's
Whoa.
this guy?
Wow, who's this guy?
Yeah.
So you're currently an 88 Mike, and I know that means you're a skilled driver because I spent some time in Fort Leonard Wood. Now, which one are you the fastest at? Running or driving?
Yeah. I think I say a faster runner. Driving, I drive slow. Slow. Drive slowly. Even when I'm driving on the roads, I stay on the right lane. Just go easy.
So you're in the world-class athlete program. If Dan Daly was here, he'd probably say he's a world-class athlete, but no, he's not. He was a command sergeant major at Fort Carson, Colorado, around the same time that you were. So how has a world-class athlete program helped you become a better athlete?
It's a very good program, especially leadership. They have been always supporting us, giving us that chance to go train. One of the things that we do, we almost train every day. We have different sports: track and field, boxing, wrestling, taekwondo. So it's a very good program where they develop athletes. So since I've been there since 2016 up to now, I have seen a lot of growth as an athlete and as a soldier. I'm so thankful for their support.
Join AUSA, the Army's premier professional association and host of the largest land power exposition in the United States. AUSA is open to everyone, including all ranks and components. So whether you have a relationship with the U.S. Army or simply want to honor those who serve, you can learn more at ausa.org/join.
Welcome back to Army Matters. Now, Sergeant Korir, you've had a great running career with a lot of accomplishments. What is the one moment that you're most proud of?
The best one was in Rio Olympics.
Okay, 2016.
2016. That was the most, because I had just finished basic training I had like few months to train. And I managed to get the standard run in the 10,000 meters and managed to make the team. And then when I went to the Olympics, I was like, wow, I didn't expect to do this. It was not in my mind that I was going to be an Olympian one day. I was so happy, excited. And I was like, this is so good. That's why I got the inspiration to keep training. That's why I wanted more to try to make more teams and represent.
That sounds so cool. What has been the hardest moment that you've had in your running career?
The biggest one was in 2020. I was hoping to make my second Olympics in the marathon. But I fell short. I finished fourth, and they were taking top 3. I was so disappointed because when I went to the race, I was overconfident. I was the favorite to make the team. I knew I was going to make the team because I did the fastest debut marathon in America to run 2 hours, 7 minutes, and 56 seconds. So when I went to the trials, I was like, I think I was going to be finished maybe second, or worst thing, I finished third. But towards the end, it got so tough that I finished fourth and missed by 2 seconds.
You know, we've all had failures. What helped you overcome that disappointment?
I was like, what went wrong? But the leadership here in W Cup, they encouraged me. They told me, it's okay. We know you wanted to make the team, but keep your head up because 4 years go so quick. You never know. Keep training. 2024 is going to come. And I was like, you know what? I want to keep training because I want to prove to myself that despite missing in 2020, I want to make the next one. I was able to make it, and I'm so happy.
Okay, so That brings us to this month's games. You finished third in the qualification for the marathon this year. And you thought you were good to go. But yet there was a 2-month delay. Can you tell us a little bit more about that?
So I didn't have the standard. For you to compete in the Olympics, you need to have a standard of running 2 hours, 8 minutes, and 10 seconds. There was a rule saying if you don't have the standard, you will make to go to the Olympics if you have world rankings. So what I needed to do was just to finish top 3 in the trials and then wait for the rankings. So that's why I had to wait between March and May a little bit.
That must have been really nerve-wracking.
Yes. I was so nervous. I was like, I finished that. I was just praying. But I kept my training because I knew chances of making us like 90%. But the good thing, at the end, I was able to make the team from the support and all the leadership working for me, petitioning for me. I was happy I managed to go.
And now, Sergeant Korir, you're going to have so many people cheering for you from the United States, from Kenya, and especially your Army family. How does it feel to know you have so many people rooting for you?
That's so amazing. Especially my leadership. They are so proud of me. Usually when I go to some of the races, especially the trials, some of the races trying to get a time, I get so nervous before the race. But this one, I don't think I will be nervous. I will be excited. I can't wait to wear my shoes, change running gear, and go run. I don't think I will be nervous. I will be excited just to go there and run. This one is different.
So we need some running advice. I'm a someday runner, sometimes runner. So what would you tell somebody who's just trying to learn how to run, just trying to get back out and exercise? What would be the best way to teach somebody how to learn how to run?
So the best, you start with basic stuff like walk. Maybe you walk like a mile.
Okay. Walk a mile.
Yeah, 800 meters, go 800 and come back. That's a mile. The following day, maybe jog a little bit. Go jog 800 meters, come back. Maybe use a watch. Say today you'll start by saying, I want to do 20 minutes today. So you can run for 10 minutes. Tomorrow run 20 minutes, develop like that. Before you know, after a week, you're running 2 miles.
Nice.
2 weeks, you're running 4 miles. Before you know it, you want to run every day.
And then you'll be running a marathon.
Yeah, before you know it, you're running in the morning and in the evening. Before you know it, you want to try a race, maybe a 10K on the roads. Before you know it, you say, let me try a half. Before you know it, you start running a marathon. But you run a little bit, walk, run, walk. Before you know it, you just finish. That's how you develop.
Nice. Well, thank you so much for taking the time to do this today with us. We're so proud of you, and we're looking forward to seeing you win a medal. But more importantly, we're so proud of the man that you've become and the leader that you've become in our Army, in our nation, and really 2 nations. Thanks so much for joining us here on Army Matters, sir.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
In today's episode, we heard from a man who is an Olympic marathon runner and member of the U.S. Army. In today's chapter spotlight, we'd like to focus on another sporting event, one that commemorates an important moment in World War II history. On June 8th of this year, the General Creighton W. Abrams chapter, based in Wiesbaden, Germany, helped to organize the annual Remembrance Bowl. Held in Normandy, France, the game pitted members of the 82nd Airborne Division against the 101st Airborne Division Air Assault in a friendly game of flag football. This now annual event commemorates a game that was canceled back during World War II. In the late fall of 1944, with Paris secure and confident of an Allied forces victory, 2 groups from the 101st Airborne Division decided to organize a football match on Christmas Day and dubbed it the Champagne Bowl. Unfortunately, just before the match, the 101st was called to Ardennes to help with the Battle of the Bulge, and the event was soon referred to as the game that never happened. In May 2018, some of the members of the Abrams chapter, alongside Patton Legacy Sports, decided to commemorate this event. They host what is now an annual competition. This year's game saw a large crowd cheer on both sides. And, in case you're wondering, the 82nd won. Congrats to Chapter President Gemma McGowan and everyone who took part in this important event. If you or your chapter would like to be profiled on the show, please email us at podcast@ausa.org. Hooah.
To all our listeners, thanks for joining us. Army Matters is brought to you by the Association of the United States Army, the U.S. Army's professional association, member-supported, Army-connected. Visit us at ausa.org for more information or to become a member. Your membership helps AUSA continue to carry out its mission, educate, inform, and connect with the total Army, our industry partners, and supporters of a strong national defense. Today's episode was hosted by Lieutenant General Retired Les Smith and SMA Retired Dan Daly, and anchor hosted by Carrie Barrow-Heckes. Anthony Del Call is the producer and writer, and Andy Bosnack is the supervising sound editor. Ellen Toner is the content editor. Unzinga Curry is the executive producer, and the senior producers are Carrie Barrow-Heckes and LaSharon Duncan. Be sure to subscribe to Army Matters wherever you get your podcasts, and please leave a review. As you know, we love seeing stars in the Army, especially if it comes in the form of a 5-star review. AUSA's Army Matters podcast can also be heard on Reach Across America Radio on Monday at 8 p.m. Eastern, on the iHeartRadio app, the Odyssey app, and the TuneIn app with the search of the word Reef. AUSA's Army Matters podcast primary purpose is to entertain. The podcast does not constitute advice or services. While guests are invited to listen, listeners, please note that you're not being provided professional advice from the podcast or the guest. The views and opinions of our guests do not necessarily reflect the views of AUSA. For questions or to provide topic recommendations, email us at podcast@ausa.org. I'm LaSharon Duncan. Hope you have a great Army Day. Hooah!